Welcome to Spoonful of Strength, a podcast for people with chronic illness and the ones who love them, where we talk all things chronic. Here's your host, Rachel and Tina.
Welcome to Spoonful of Strength. This episode I am super excited about. We're going to talk today about meditation and mindfulness and the benefits of those practices on how they can help you with chronic illness.
Yep, it's something that I don't know a lot about. So this episode's probably going to be me asking all the questions and Tina answering all the questions. But I'm excited to learn a little bit more about that.
A lot of times you'll hear mindful meditations, which is there's actually there's a slight difference between practicing mindfulness and practicing meditation. And you can meditate in a mindful manner. They could be, they do go together, but there also is two different, like they can have two different connotations. Mindfulness is more of being present in the moment. So you don't really have to carve out I'm going to lay on the couch or I'm going to sit here in this lovely spot for 20 minutes and meditate and clear my mind. Mindfulness could be something as simple as I practice it even first thing in the morning, of just being aware and living in being aware of the moment. So a lot of times just waking up in the morning, a lot of us that deal with chronic pain or struggle with with mental illness or depression may lay in bed first thing in the morning and just kind of tune into your body and feel how, oh, hey, all right, I'm kind of achy today, or emotionally, I'm not going to be able to deal with much today, that type of thing. Like that is being mindful in the moment, of just making that connection of what is currently happening in this very moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or also a matter of again, just being present and not thinking. Like, for example, I have my next PET scan coming up in a couple weeks, and I could be sitting here worrying about that and worrying about something that's going to come up in 2 weeks. That's going to take away from what I could be enjoying right now with my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I know with me, I wake up in the morning and it's like, go, 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 dogs need to get out, dogs need to get fed, take my medicine, do all of that. And so that's something that I need to do better at, is just take 30 seconds or a minute or two and in the morning before I get out of bed and just, do that to
checking
kind of
in,
get ready. Yeah.
Checking in, quieting your mind. And sometimes too, it's just, you could sit there and go, okay, so if you find that you feel like you're struggling mentally that day, or mentally over something, just taking that moment to kind of evaluate, okay, what is going on? Why am I struggling mentally? Where is my mind thinking? Because a lot of times you don't even realize that you're wandering. You're letting your mind wander, you're letting worry or stress or things like that, until you become intentional in tuning in to that.
So then what is meditation?
So meditation is more purposeful. Well, both of them are purposeful, but meditation is more of okay, I am going to take 30 minutes. That could seem long. Like I recommend also, like if you're new at meditating, okay, I'll take 5 minutes. I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to sit here quietly. I am going to, and I'm going to meditate. Like more structured, I guess I should say. So there's a site that I was looking at, so mindfulness. says, is a quality we can have in our lives by being more aware of our surroundings and being present in each moment. It's an active presence that entails engaging with your mind, body, and spirit and observing without judgment. So meditation is more of a formal practice that can use mindfulness as a technique, but also has many other techniques for focusing the mind and training our attention so that the mind become more calm and clear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And I know we'll go through more with this, but how did you get into using mindfulness and meditation in your life?
Meditation I've done for a number of years. Usually when I first started, it was more guided meditations where it would take you, you would settle in and, turn the meditation on, and um, it takes you on a journey, so to speak, a meditative journey.
Mm-hmm.
That I struggle a lot with insomnia. And so I started meditation to try to help quiet my mind, because the issues that I would have when I try to go to bed is that my mind wouldn't quiet down. My body would be tired, but my mind just wouldn't settle. So that's where I started with the meditations, the guided meditations, because that allowed me to focus my mind to focus on something specific, to listen, kind of like listening to an audiobook. Um, And so that was when I initially started meditating, it was listening to guided meditations, um, just as a way to try to quiet my mind and relax my body, because that was also with during the fibromyalgia flare-ups and having a lot of pain. So just that relaxation techniques, the deep breathing, and those type of things. And then I delved into mindfulness when in 2019 I became more aware of the practice of mindfulness. I went to Kripalu, which is a yoga center in the Berkshires of Massachusetts, and took a course on it's called a mindful outdoor guide. So I became certified mindful outdoor guide, which is guiding people out in nature uh, on how to be mindful. And I found that very healing for me. It was funny. I went to it because I wanted the certification, because I was like, oh, I want to be able to offer this to other people, not realizing that 10-day course, how much healing I was going to end up doing. Like it just kind of was like a great release of, um, just tuning into that moment and realizing the big part with nature. And I think we'll have an episode eventually on delving more into the healing properties of what you can get out of nature. But I remember partway through that class, we would start our every morning with we called it our sit spot meditation. So we went to the same spot every morning. It became, you get that connection to that spot, and then you just sit and you observe, you quiet your mind, and you watch nature, and you listen to what you hear, you smell what it feels like. And that was when I realized that nature doesn't worry about the future, and nature doesn't look back at the past. Nature is what's going on in the now. And it's just a very peaceful state to be in, I think, especially when we all get so busy with daily lives and appointments and tests and not feeling well, and worried about what the future may be, or questioning decisions that you may have made in the past regarding your health decisions and things like that. It's all of that takes away from the enjoyment of living now.
Mm-hmm. What's the biggest biggest lesson or the biggest thing that you learned going through that?
Um, One, I wasn't as healed as I thought I was, emotionally over the cancer was for that. Uh,
Mm,
but also it was just I've always loved to hike and love being outdoors. So for me, the mindfulness and making that connection and learning to quiet my mind, just it brought a different aspect to how I enjoy nature. Like now when I go out on a hike, I'm not worried about, oh, look, I just managed to get, 6 mile hike in. I may only get a 2 mile hike in, but I could be out there 2 hours because, that was what my body or my soul or my
mm,
spirit needed at the time, was that connection of just, it taught me how to slow down
mm,
and enjoy the moment versus constantly worry about what might be coming after. Even as something as simple as, oh, I need to go grocery shopping and I need to plan this, and this. So if your mind is going on, wandering that while you're out, if you're meditating or you're trying to practice a mindful moment, but your mind is thinking about all this, your to-do list or the appointments that you have coming up, and all of that is a distractor
mm.
from and being present in the moment.
Yeah. So, you mentioned, I feel like I'm interviewing you, but I have
Oh,
so
you're
many
fine. Yeah,
questions
yeah, yeah.
because
No, you had questions. That's
this
good.
is new. This is new to me, but what are the main benefits then of having either mindfulness or meditation?
There's a lot of science base. There's been a lot of there's a lot of research going on out there. I came across as I was looking for some tidbits to share here. There's a like NIH, National Institute of Health here in the States, have done studies on the benefits of that. So meditation and mindfulness, both of them are basically the process of just slowing down, of
Mhm,
not being a go, go, go. So it helps reduce your stress levels. Um, because it's, you're a lot of when you're meditating, there's a lot of deep breathing techniques. So that just the process of deep breathing helps reduce stress. Um, it says like normally mental and physical stress can cause increased levels of cortisol, which is that stress hormone.
mhm,
Um, and then that cortisol ends up it can increase your inflammation. It increases digestion issues. The more stressed you are, it increases your anxiety and depression. So meditation and a mindfulness practice can help reduce that stress. It can help control if you struggle with anxiety. I don't even, I know I mentioned that I have a PET scan coming up soon, and it doesn't bother me anymore. I don't get stressed out about it, because there was one day that it dawned on me that this happened thankfully early on. I never really stressed too much other than the early days of those of it. I realized that me stressing out about it just took all it was doing was taking the enjoyment of now away from
mhm.
me. It wasn't going to impact the outcome one way or another
Yeah.
of how that PET scan was going to be. So that's it's tough to let go of that anxiety though. Um,
Yeah.
it also, it helps with your emotional health.
It's it's hard for me to picture because I mean, I'm having surgery next week. I'm all stressed about it. I'm thinking of all the things that could go wrong and all of these things. You were dealing with cancer at the time and you've got these PET scans that come up every so often. To me, I just can't even imagine like not worrying about it. I think I'm just a normal worrier, and I think mindfulness and meditation could do me some good, because all the benefits that you're talking about, I'm like, oh wait, I have anxiety, and I think too far ahead, and I don't my mind is racing 20 million miles an hour, and I have tried meditation before, and it was like very difficult because there was just so much running in my head that I could not focus. And I know I have cognitive issues specifically in focus and attention. And so that tends to, be difficult, but it's been a few years since I've even tried. So
yeah. And I think a lot of people, some people are like, they think, okay, meditation, that I have to sit down, I have to be still, I have to be quiet. There can't be any noise. Like a lot of people, like some people may feel that it's like, it's not a moment of absolute silence and letting your mind be empty. It could be something as simple as, like I will find, depending on what I'm in the mood to listen to, YouTube has some meditation videos, yeah, like 8 hour long meditation that I'll pop on. That's like a 8 hour long thunderstorm or rain showers or something like that, or drumming. I love listening to drumming meditation, so like an 8 hour drumming meditation. So that actually will help me fall asleep. So it's not necessarily something that I have to pay attention to, so to speak, but it's more of like just that simple sound of the drumming or the rain is enough to keep my brain focused on that and not thinking about everything else that I need to try to get done tomorrow when I wake up.
So it kind of drowns out the noise in your head.
It drowns out that, yeah, that mental noise. For me, that's what I find. And I also find that if I do wake up in the middle of the night and that's still playing, then I can easily fall back to sleep, versus if I'm on days that if I am struggling with stress or feeling overwhelmed, if I wake up in the middle of the night, my mind immediately will kick in, and then I'm up. I can't go back to sleep. So having those meditations, and it's just a matter of what works for you, because it took me a while of, the guided meditations. I did part of that also. Is guided meditations is a lot like, I trained as a hypnotist. I don't know if I ever mentioned that I'm a hypnotist as well. And
when was this?
That was like 8 or 9 years ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Does it work on Dave?
He won't let me do it. He won't let me do it. He's afraid I'm going to make him click like a chicken or something. So I have not practiced on Dave. Yeah. But I've done that. I did help some people with, to me, bringing somebody into a hypnotic state and working on, and that's something that, this is a totally other subject that could go in when we talk about some homeopathic options out there that you can pair up with. And I never promote them to be as a substitute. I always say a complementary compared to traditional. But to me, that is bringing somebody, hypnotizing somebody, and going on that journey is it's similar to a guided meditation. Like I'm the guide though, instead of listening to a pre-recorded one. So, and those are more like guiding you to connect to yourself inwardly on that.
Did you know Spoonful of Strength is not just a podcast? We have an Instagram page called Spoonful of Strength, where you can see clips of our upcoming episodes, learn about different illnesses, and we share other people's stories. We also have an Etsy shop where you can shop for clothing such as t-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies You can find candles and mugs and tumblers and blankets. You can find it all. We support all chronic illnesses, and the great thing is, if you find a t-shirt in our shop for multiple sclerosis, we can change that for lupus or Ehlers-Danlos or any other illness that you need. Everything is customizable in our shop. Use the code PODCAST for 20% off your entire order.
Well, let me ask you this. For somebody who's never done anything like this before, what's the easiest to start with? Is it mindfulness, then guided meditation, and then meditation, or what would be the normal progression?
Sure. I think it's different for everybody. To be honest, it's a matter of just finding what works for you. Oh, okay, I can't really, mindfulness is hard, but I can sit down and listen to a guided meditation, or I can listen to a drumming meditation, or, honestly, even like, I think a lot of people do it without even realizing it. How many people, when you're stressed, they turn to music, they'll crank the music up and like, just zone out to whatever music they're playing, or something like that. And that is, to me, that's a form of meditation, because it's quieting your mind from whatever else you're thinking, and you're focusing just on that music.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no like real right or wrong way. It's whatever works for you. Like I said, mindfulness again is like, that's just something about being present and being aware, and that doesn't take a if you have a busy day, you're like, oh, I'm not going to have time to sit down for 20 minutes and do a meditation. But mindfulness is just something you can practice without it. Like, it eventually, the more you do it, the more you realize that you're just you naturally start to do it.
Right. Becomes a habit.
Yeah.
So what if you can't stop? I talked about like the thoughts running in my head. What if you sit down, you're trying to clear your mind, but the thoughts are coming in of, oh, don't forget to start dinner. Oh, I forgot this at the store. I got to go pick it up, and all the things that run through.
Yeah. So the thoughts that pop in your mind, if they're popping in your mind, it's something that's important to you, whether it really needs to be important to you or not, but subconsciously it's something that's important to you. So one way you could try it, I have a couple different techniques. One is just saying, okay, I recognize this is something I need to deal with, but this is my meditation time. So I'll just internally, mentally tell yourself, I'll think about that when I'm done, but this is my time now. My favorite, I still use it every now. I don't use it as often anymore, but when I first started meditating and I had a hard time getting my mind to not wander, was every time I'd get every time I'd feel my mind start to wander, I'd picture this little janitor up in my brain with one of those big push brooms. And so any thought that I didn't want to come in, I was picturing him like sweeping it away. And that worked for me too. So it's just, sometimes you have to play brain games with yourself to be able to calm yourself down, or to be able to quiet, or not calm yourself down, but to quiet your mind. It's just a matter. There's no cookie cutter way to meditate or to be mindful. It's just figuring out what works for you and what doesn't. Now, there's obviously techniques, the deep breathing, and we've been, I did that little clip that we've been sharing on a couple episodes, I believe, of the little little bit of mini mindfulness. And that technique is just a great way to just quiet the mind and relax the body, is tuning into your breathing. And that's another technique too, like you asked, of how to quiet your mind, or if you're struggling, is just becoming aware of your breathing. Like we call it like return to breath. So if your mind starts wandering, just return to breath and becoming more aware of, okay, breathe in from the stomach, from all the way down from your diaphragm and up through the nose for a count of, 5, and hold it, and then breathe it out through your mouth for the count of 5, and just become very intentional in your breathing in and out. And if that's all you're focusing on, then that also will slow your body down and slow your mind down.
We've never talked about this. So you actually climbed Mount Fuji. Was that in 2022?
2023. That was last year.
2023. And so tell us if you used any like mindfulness or like how that helped.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Just talk about that, because that's so interesting of a story that you did that.
I did.
And you were how many years from cancer diagnosis?
That was 5 years. It would have been 5 years from my diagnosis, because I was diagnosed in 2018. Absolutely. It was a difficult hike, or difficult climb, more difficult than I anticipated. And I started getting that doubt of, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the summit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I don't know how, and my son, I did it with my son-in-law, and he was like, we're already past we're past the point of no return. There's no going back. You have no choice but to finish it. And so that second day, because we did end up sleeping, we did a 2-day. It ended up being, that's a whole nother story. It was supposed to be a 2-day hike. It ended up being a 3-day hike, but due to some pop-up storms. But the second day, what got me up there was just if being aware of my breathing when I started feeling winded, definitely mindfulness. I practiced a lot of mindfulness, and it was simply, okay, how's my body feeling? Actually, I'm tired. This is tough, but I'm not hurt. I'm not hurting. I can still do this. And I would pick out, like I got to the point where I'd look ahead and be like, okay, I was taking more steps than I needed to. And so, but I would go, okay, you only need to go up to this next point and then you can rest. So those were like kind of the mind games to keep me going. But also throughout the climb was, I just did this like a mantra, so to speak, of my body supports me. My body has everything I need. My body can do amazing things. And those were the 3 things that I just repeated over and over and over. And by repeating that and kept that repetition up and reminding myself of that, it kept me out of my own head and kept that doubt away.
So how long was that in time and distance?
It's not, in general, you're like, oh, that's not that bad of a hike. But it was steep. According to this, it's only like, it came up to like 3 miles. It's only like that's the sad part. It's really only 3 miles. It's only 3 miles, but it's a very steep climb. And it was between the 7th and 8th station was super duper rocky. Like I'm short, and I was already having issues with my hip flexors at the time. So I realized that if I actually tried to climb where it was very rocky, if I tried to just step up, I was going to I was not going to make it. I was going to blow my hip flexors out. My body was going to, so I was basically like spider climbing, like a little, like a spider monkey up the rocks in some parts, because it was just like, I put my poles away and just went to all fours and climbed up to preserve. And that was, again, being mindful of my body. Like I adjusted what I was doing and how I was making that climb, because I tuned into what my body was feeling.
Was going down the mountain a lot easier?
No, mountain going down was even worse.
Really?
It was awful going like initially from the summit, the initial probably first half of the descent is all lava rock. So is and then you're going downhill fairly steep and it's super slippery. Like I think I wiped out about 3 times on the way
Mm.
down. Um, and by the I think the third time I couldn't even get back up. Somebody behind me came and like put his arms on it. Was like some random stranger basically lifted me up off the ground. I was so done.
Mm.
But I did it. That was actually, it's
Yeah.
funny. I've had so many people that would ask me, will you do it again? I'm like, absolutely not. I did it. I can say I did it, but it did show me that I wouldn't be afraid to do another intimidating mountain range. I just don't necessarily need to go do Fuji again.
Yeah.
But, um, but yes, I definitely used a lot of mindful techniques of being aware of how I'm feeling, not just physically, but emotionally, and making that realization that my mind was going in a really bad place. I was convincing myself I wasn't going to make it. I was
Mm.
already trying to figure out if they would come and like I was like, okay, maybe if I fall and like sprain my ankle, then they're going to have to come and they're going to have to
Oh,
come and get me off that mountain.
oh my
But
gosh.
it was so I definitely had to push those thoughts out of my head and become more intentional in my thoughts, which is
Mm.
basically to me mindfulness and meditation are a big component of that is being intentional of your thoughts.
Yeah. So, am I correct in thinking that, mindfulness, even throughout the day can just be stop. What am I feeling? How am I feeling? And, am I in pain anywhere? And just kind of calming your system down. It can be
Yeah,
done pretty much anywhere.
anywhere. And it's not, you don't have to, you're not going to lay down, in the grocery cart or something. It's something that you're not,
I have. No,
you
I have. No, I haven't.
maybe, no.
Yeah, there's been times
But
where I wanted
yeah,
to.
that you're tempted to do that. Yeah. But yeah, you can be mindful. You can be practicing mindfulness with, nobody's even going to have an idea of what you're doing. And
Yeah.
even when you're trying to not just plan your day, but say mid-morning, you're like, okay, after I finish this, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. And it's important before you make that to-do list or even as you're working your way through your day of continually checking in to make sure that your body is still good and your mind and body. Because it's easy to make a ambitious list in the morning when you first wake up and you're feeling pretty good.
Mhm.
And then you may get in that, I know I do, I get in that habit of going, oh man, I made this really long list and it's like 2 o'clock now and I've only done like, I haven't even made it halfway and I really wanted to get all this done. And my body is just, not cooperating the way I want it to cooperate. And so then you start again that mental, beating yourself up mentally
Mhm.
versus being okay with checking in and saying, you know what? Nope, my body, it's okay. This list can be done later. It doesn't all have to be
Mhm.
done today. And my body is saying that is done or it needs a break. And
Mhm.
that's just part of mindfulness, being mindful of how you're feeling.
So
Oh, I was
meditation,
gonna,
then
yeah.
how does somebody like get started with that?
Yeah. So with meditating, one benefit of meditation is that it may reduce age-related memory loss.
I'm sorry, what'd you just say? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It may reduce age-related memory loss.
Yeah. I was joking, by the way. I
What?
forgot what you said. um,
Um,
yeah.
improve sleep. It can help your sleep and it help control, decrease blood pressure.
We'll be back in a few minutes with a couple meditation examples that you can come back to. We'll have a
Yep.
shorter one that you can do if you're a beginner, and we'll also include a longer one as well. So we'll be back to do that. Having a chronic illness, my mood swings by the day, sometimes by the hour. Do you ever wish you could have a candle for every emotion you go through? Well, now you do. Introducing our emotion candles. Feeling anxious? Light our anxiety candle. Feeling tired? Light our pooped out candle. Feeling frisky? Stressed out? Sad? We've got you covered. See all of our designs at Spoonful of Strength on Etsy. That's Spoonful with 2 L's. Use code podcast for 20% off.
A very big thank you to Tina for her knowledge in mindfulness and meditation. She's generously included 3 different guided meditation examples. We have 2 that are 4-minute and an 8-minute guided meditation next. If you can't listen now or want to come back later, you can find the timestamps of each meditation in the description of the episode. Each meditation will have a few seconds break before you get on to the next one. We hope you enjoy these. Let us know in the comments what you think. On Thursday, our episode will be an interview with Callie from Puerto Rico, who will bravely talk about her mental illness, years of trauma built up to one phone call at work that completely changed her life, and how she finally found the therapy and the mental practices that have helped. Have a great week, and we hope you enjoy these meditations. Take care.
This short meditation is about gratitude. It can be difficult, I know, at times to find things to be grateful for as we're going through our struggles. I invite you to sit quietly and settle into comfortable, both feet on the ground. And if you wish to, either you may close your eyes or soften your gaze, relax your eyes, the muscles around your eyes, and notice your breath. Nice deep breath in, breathe out, exhale, inhale, exhale. Focus on breathing in relaxation and breathing out tension. And acknowledge and recognize how your body is feeling in the moment. And now we're going to practice a gratitude mantra. And the mantra is, I am grateful for, and you fill in the blank. Please fill in the blank with something or someone you're grateful for. And I'm going to repeat this mantra 10 times. And each time, I will invite you to think of something or someone different that you're grateful for each time. For example, I am grateful for the trees outside my window, or I am grateful for the air that is in my lungs, or I am grateful for my friends and family. So each one, I'm going to repeat 10 times, come up with 10 different things that you're grateful for. So let's begin. I am grateful for. 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 Now bring your attention back to your breath and breathe in one final deep breath in. Slowly exhale. And when you're ready, open your eyes and take a moment to reflect on how you feel in this moment and continue to think of things that you're grateful for. Have a beautiful day. Join us on a little mindful moment here as I guide you through how to quiet your mind. One of my favorite techniques of that is simply become focused on my breath. So if you settle in, close your eyes, try to quiet your mind, and simply focus on taking a nice deep breath in through your nose, feeling it all the way down from your diaphragm all the way up, and hold it. And then release that breath through the mouth. One big, long breath out. And there should be no other thoughts going through your mind. Just simply focus on breathing in. Nice deep breath in through the nose and hold it. And deep breath out through your mouth, releasing all that tension in your body. Feeling yourself connected to nothing more than your body and your mind. You hear any outside noises, just simply push them away. Only concentrate on that breath. Deep breath in, hold it, and a nice long breath out. And if you find your mind starting to wander, bring it back to focusing on nothing more than the process of those deep breath in all the way through the very bottom of your pit of your stomach, all the way up into your lungs. Nice and deep breath, and hold it. And a nice deep breath out. Simply quieting your mind and focusing only on those nice deep breaths in and a long breath out. And then take just a couple seconds, a few more breaths on your own. I won't guide you through these. If you find your mind starting to wander, just bring it right back to just focusing on the breath and nothing more. Give you a couple seconds to do a few deep breaths. And on your last exhale, nice deep exhale, and open your eyes and come back to the present moment. Okay, so this meditation, I feel like, is a good introduction to mindfulness and becoming aware of your body, and it's called a body scan meditation, guided meditation. So I invite you all to settle back in a comfortable spot, in a space without a lot of distractions. Now, if you listen to our podcast while you're traveling, I don't recommend doing this part right now, but you can always go back and listen later when you're in a safe space to be able to do so. So we'll settle in and begin with focusing on our breathing. We'll do gently close your eyes, focus on your breathing, and we'll do a deep breath in through your nose all the way down from the very pit of your diaphragm at the count of 3, for the count of 3, and then we'll hold it for a brief second, and then we're going to release it. So nice deep breath in for 3. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. And then blow out through your mouth for 3, all the way out. 1, 2, 3. And we'll do a couple of those just to kind of drop into that state of quieting your mind. If you find your mind wandering, just bring it back to focusing on that breath. All you should think about is breathing in and breathing out, and no other thoughts. And now we're going to go into a little body scan, and we're going to take another full breath in and hold it, and then a nice long breath out. And we're going to begin by bringing your attention into your body. Notice the feeling of the weight of your body, either on the chair or the floor or wherever you're sitting. Just kind of tune in and feel the weight. And as you continue to breathe in, become aware of how your chest and your abdomen expand with each breath, allowing the air to enter your lungs. And as you do that, become aware of what sensations you feel. And as you exhale, bring your awareness to the stillness around you and within you in your body, and notice the sense of relaxing more deeply with each exhale. And now bring your attention to the very top of your head, noticing any sensations there and on your scalp, down the back of your head, to the sides of your head, your temples, and to your face. Feel all the sensations that you may be feeling. Notice that your jaw. And if you're feeling any tension in your jaws, give it a little wiggle, release that tension. Soften your face, all those muscles in your face, just relax them, let them sag a little bit. Don't feel any tension. Relax the muscles around your eyes. Relax the muscles around your mouth. Breathing in and breathing back out. And now notice your neck and your throat, the sensations you may be feeling there. And let them be nice and soft and relaxed, removing any tension from there. And notice your shoulders and your arms. Any sensations as you allow all that tension that you may have been carrying in your shoulders move down through your body and out, down to your upper arms, the elbow, to your forearms, the wrists, hands, and fingers. Notice any tightness or any temperature sensations you may be feeling. Become aware of what the fabric feels like on from the clothes that you're wearing. How does that feel against your skin? Continuing to breathe in and breathe out. Now bring your attention to your chest and your abdomen. Feeling the movement in your chest at each breath that you take in. Bring your attention to your stomach. Taking notice if it's feeling tight or if it's feeling tense. And just letting that soften and release and relax. Noticing the upper back and the lower back. And releasing any tension in there if you're holding any. And now we're going to continue going down your legs. Again, releasing any tensions, taking notice of anything you may be feeling in those areas. Your thighs, your knees, your calves and shins, down to your ankles, and finally bringing your attention to your feet. Noticing the sensations of your feet against the floor or the ground. And noticing any weight, sense of temperature, or energy present in your feet. And as you continue breathing in and out, now noticing the whole body. I'm going to start back up to the top of your head, all the way down to your toes. Just giving yourself another whole body scan on what you're feeling. Again, returning to your breath and becoming aware of breathing in and breathing out. Checking in to see if you feel any more tensions, any areas that may need some more attention, some release. And staying with a sense of your whole body for a few more breaths. And as we finish, continue remaining aware of your body and what you're feeling. And on a nice, long, deep breath in, and hold it. And a nice, long, deep breath out. And when you're ready, open your eyes and join us back in here.